What's going on, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar, and today I am joined by this lovely lady. One of these days, I'm going to get this right. To my right here, and this is Ødfel. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk about Hawkeye. I watched both of them yesterday, and I'm so glad I had two stocked up to watch at once. So
Right? I feel a little bit different about these episodes than I did episodes 1 and 2. By the way, we are going to be talking spoilers just in case. If you've never seen our show, we like to break down the things that we enjoyed, like the Easter eggs. Sometimes Easter eggs happen to be spoilers, especially in episode 3. There's it's not much of an Easter egg. It's hinting strongly at a character's return, which recognizing the voice and everything makes us really happy. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about these episodes. So we'll start with episode 3. I'm going to go ahead and start the ticker here under the banner. Right, here we go. Hawkeye, episode 3. Spoilers. So this one starts off with a flashback. And again, every one of these flashbacks make me feel old, because this one is in 2007 and it's of a little child. And I'm not even going to ask Ødfel how old she was in 2007. I assume she was a little child, just like the character in the show. So I was thinking, 2007. Yeah, that was a pretty good year. Anyway, so we get to see the introduction of Maya, who is a character known as Echo in the comic books. First debuted in Daredevil in the comics, and we kind of knew that she was coming. The actress portraying her actually is missing a limb, so that's really cool. So I feel like they had a deaf character in Eternals, and now they have Echo, and the Echo actress was like, "Hold my beer! I'm not only deaf, but I'm also missing." He's like, "I got this." Oh, how awesome is that, man?
And I think if I remember correctly, the actress is indigenous as well. So like they found like the perfect Echo.
That's what's up. So the very first part of the flashback, we see her father, the relationship with her father. We see her training and learning as she's training. You see her looking at kids when she's doing karate, and she's learning moves. Now, the big thing is uncle, right? Like her father says something about her uncle, and how do I say this? Like, I mean, it's the Kingpin, right? If they go with Ralph Boner again or throw us something like that, I'm gonna be upset, because it's got to be the Kingpin, right?
It's gotta be.
His voice, his big old, I don't want to say fat man hands, but that's what they were when he's touching her. Because you only see his hand touching her face when she's a little girl, and they do have a close relationship in the comics. This is something we talked about before, how they're going to introduce her through here. But yeah, they have a closer relationship in the comics, and we assume that, hey, it's got to be the Kingpin. It's got to be Wilson Fisk. So then we see her father. We kind of figured this out too. Most people did. Getting killed at the hands of Ronan, which is why she I'm sorry. You knew he wasn't going to make it. Come on.
Well, I know, but like I didn't expect him to go so hard, and he did the damn like hand thing, and I was like,
oh. Yeah, why wasn't he painting at the time? I wish he was like painting the walls white, so he would have like done that, and you're like, oh, there you go. There's the origin of the hand. But he dies. And so her father dies, and that's why she is all about taking down Ronan. And so then fast forward a little bit, and we're back caught up with our heroes, Hawkeye, and they're tied up, these little ponies, like mechanical ponies, by the tracksuit mafia. This is when I first got the taste of Hawkeye working different. Like Kate Bishop works a lot different than the way that Clinton Barton works. And this is also the first time that I realized, holy crap, he is deaf. Yeah. I thought the hearing aid was helping him, People need hearing aids all the time. And I thought it was just helping him. No, he really needs that to hear. Otherwise, it's gone, because it's in this episode, they knock it out of him, and he can't hear her. And that, okay, we've seen car scenes like this before in movies, right? We've seen Children of Men. This is what a lot of people were comparing it to, the Children of Men, which is an amazing car scene. It's one shot. And that's what they try to capture here. It was one shot. Yeah, there was some trickery, I'm sure, of cutting, but I thought it was a smooth transition where they're inside of the car. They're being chased by 4 different cars, and she hangs outside throwing arrows at these cars. Holy crap, this is a TV show we're watching with that much. They have set the bar high as far as action sequences in TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I know we've seen this stuff before in movies, but I don't think we've seen anything like this in television. The amount of money they spend, the amount of special effects, and the kind of cinematography that you did in this car scene was great. I loved it. I thought it was great. I was complaining about the cinematography in episodes 1 and 2, mainly the hand-to-hand combat. And I think I still stand by that statement. But in this, the car chase scene was awesome. Like,
the part where he like flips the car completely around to start reversing, just the actual driver, they had to do that stunt, because a lot of it looks like externally that was actual cars. Like, it didn't look like it cut to like CGI. Like, I think they actually had stunt drivers for a lot of it, and it's amazing.
And practical effects, I mean, we're going back to the French Connection, Bullet, and also a bunch of CG, because you're not just going to destroy property. Trick arrows! How fun were those? As soon as she got excited, I got excited when she got excited. She's like, oh my god, trick arrows. And of course, he can't hear her, so I love that. What's your favorite trick arrow?
And some of them being like funny comic throwaway ones were great too, like the USB arrow and stuff. It's just like, yes, give us like the weird, very niche arrows.
Dude, the Pym arrow.
God, that one was so cool.
Awesome. That was so awesome. How did they not do that in the movie? I bet they regret not doing that in one of the movies. That he was like, just shoot up. And of course, with the Pym particles, thing grows and smashes a car. Oh, that was awesome.
I was trying to like read the arrow, and as soon as I made up Pym, I was like, oh god, that says Pym. No, and he shot the arrow, and I was like, yes.
And then, you know, they freaking like jump off the bridge, completely action-packed. This episode was so fun. And they slide on top of a train to get away from Echo and her dudes. So that was a huge part of the episode. That was really cool. We're on we're halfway through the series because there's only 6 episodes, right?
Yeah. So that was like the whole second act.
So they get his hearing aid repaired, and they go back to she still believes something is going on with her mom's boyfriend. And you and I think, and a lot of the people that were watching this before with us live thought, we're thinking, I don't know if they'll still do it or not, but we think it's more of the mom instead of the mom's boyfriend, which is Swordsman, right?
Like, I feel like the Swordsman's complicit to a level, but I feel like the mom is the one who's the mastermind, especially in, oh shoot, I don't want to mess this up. I can't remember if it was episode 3 or 4.
What part?
The one where they actually sit and talk for a second?
4.
Okay, I'll wait then. Yeah. But I feel like she's really getting sketchy.
So we also get the naming of Pizza Dog. We finally name Pizza Dog, which is so cute. The adopted little dog. Adorable. And then we get a little bit of the clown, who was a big part of the comic books in the Hawkeye by David Aja and Matt Fraction. And at the very end, when they go back to the house, is when Jack surprises them. Like, Jack surprises Clint at the very end with a sword, because, swordsman. So if I were an Avenger, I would be questioning, how did this guy get the one up on me? How did this happen? And yes, we do love George Perez, brother. There was a beautiful scene between both of them connecting, and I think that's why I really like this. When Kate saw Clint not being able to talk to his son, that was a really sweet scene. Like, she walked over there and she said, "It's not your wife, it's your son." And he's asking if you're going to be home for Christmas. I thought that was really cool. I really dug that.
Yeah, between these 2 episodes, there was 2 extremely touching scenes like that. And I love finally kind of seeing not only just the connection between Kate and Clint chemistry-wise, because scenes like that are just immaculate. Wow, speaking today. But also just seeing Jeremy Renner allowed to convey more emotions, because I feel like a lot of times Hawkeye was kept in this like you're the cool guy box, and seeing things like, you know, him getting frustrated not being able to talk to his son, or like later on in the series there's a couple things Kate does in episode 4 where you can see him like holding back from crying, and you can tell he's just really grateful, and seeing that kind of range from Clint is really refreshing.
Okay, it's not. Let's and that's really it. That's where the episode continues. Jack says, you know, what are you doing in my house? Whatever. Then we get to the next episode. The next episode is it's a little bit slower, and that's okay. After the huge action sequence, episode 3, we need to slow down. And this is probably my favorite episode of this of the series so far. As much as I love all the action sequences, I really enjoyed the downtime and getting to know both of the characters. Finally, we see these two characters connect and why they are together instead of just thrown together for no reason. So at the very beginning, we get Jack. And man, I thought it was kind of a dick move. He called him, what did he call him? Archer? He called him Archer, right?
Yeah.
Instead of Hawkeye. I thought that was really cool. Like obviously on purpose. And then they joke about it. He thanked them, you know, for saving the world. And they leave like, okay, maybe Jack isn't a bad guy. Maybe everything's okay. Maybe everything is okay. And then we get a little get to know both of the characters.
Yeah, briefly, the mom in that whole scene is so sketchy because she also like she tells Hawkeye to drop it and he doesn't. So she like guilts him and brings up Nat to try and get him to drop it. And then also immediately like calls someone on the phone and is like, we gotta talk. So I'm like, that episode really cemented that something is up.
Right? And it could all be, like I said, ever since Ralph Boner, everything could be a red herring to me. Like, I'm not surprised. I mean, she could be talking to Mephisto. I don't know. But I did thought that was so dickish of her to be like, yeah, Black Widow was really good at doing this too, right? Damn. So speaking of Black Widow, that was the one thing they bonded over. That was really good. When she asked him, like, what is it? The shot? Oh, he says the shot I didn't take. Yeah. Thought that was really good way. And the nice subtle Death of Black Widow music they played in the background was just a nice icing on the cake. I thought that was a really
nice. And they play it twice.
Yep, they did.
Twice in that episode, and I was like, God. But that whole sequence leading up to that, where she's like, I don't want him to be alone, and brings over the movies so they can have the movie marathon, and they're making margaritas. Like, that whole thing is probably one of my favorite scenes they've done in this entire series. It was fun. It was really wholesome, and like Renner's acting is probably the best acting I've ever seen him do in that scene. Like,
I will say, in the TV show, this is a bottle episode, right? Like we're out of money. Let's just have all the characters sit around and talk, and it worked so well because this is what I know. People gave Joss Whedon a lot of shit for the cabin scene in Avengers, but I like those. I really enjoy these characters that become more relatable because when you're dealing with a god of thunder, when you're dealing with the smartest dude on earth that can build anything out of a pencil and a super soldier, like you need some relatable characters, for you to be like, oh man, I could sit down and have a drink with these guys. But yeah, I thought that this was the perfect episode for that. Both of them just getting to know each other and the whole Christmas setting, the lighting. I don't know. I like this one a lot. And then, of course, yeah, the bringing up of the Black Widow. I thought that was a nice touch. And then he tells her, like, hey, I think, Jack is still sketchy. And they break into what turns out to be, that was really cool. That was really slick with the alarms, right? Like the alarm that went off in that apartment, there were lights instead of sounds. So then you know that it's echo. So... But somebody else was up on the rooftop with Clint, and he's like, no, I've got echo. But before all that, we go back to the LARPers, which I did not expect. Yes. Did not expect that happening. And this is important because this is a nice little Easter egg. So with the LARPers, Kate is asking for their help. One of them happens to be, I think, a police officer, and she can get his trick arrows back, right? Now, when she comes back with the trick arrows, she has her own bag, and she's like, "But this is my bag." And he was like, "Yeah, I don't have a bag." And she's like, "Do you promise to bring it back?" And he was like, "Yeah, I promise to bring it back," because her wife like put her name on it, and the name is Bombshell, and that's a take back, like a throwback to a character from like the '80s Hawkeye miniseries, and or I don't think it's the character from the Ultimate Universe, but I think it's more of the character from the Hawkeye miniseries. That's where that character of Bombshell is from. And yeah, then they both get into different fights. She's fighting Echo. He thinks he's fighting Echo, but it turns out to be, oh my goodness, my big crush. Whew, Florence Pugh. So
I love her so. I was so excited because the whole episode, I'm like, they're talking about Widow a lot. When's she coming in? They're talking about Widow a lot, and then finally, I was like, my girl.
Dude, I went to go see Little Women just to go see that girl, like in the movie theaters. That woman is awesome.
The scene where Kate falls off the roof and they start playing the freaking Voromir music, I lost it. I was like, oh my god, like the music cue and everything.
So, of course, we're led to believe that she's holding a grudge, I assume. Like, that's her target. Maybe she blames him for the death of her sister, of course. But it does end on that note. Like, she just jumps out of the off the building, and then Kate's like, "Who the hell was that?"
Well, she was probably told something, because at the end of Black Widow, we're shown that I forget her name, but the woman from Falcon and Winter Soldier, who's I think setting up the Thunderbolts, comes to her and is like, "Do you want a shot at the guy who killed your sister?" So I'm assuming like whatever was in that file probably isn't necessarily true, but for some reason they want Hawkeye off the board, so she probably thinks something very different. Mm-hmm. I would assume.
I think I forgot to change the episode. Whoops. Episode 4. I think I mean, this is just me thinking. I think obviously, Yelena has been manipulated into, for some reason, trying to take out Hawkeye. Because we don't know exactly who runs like Contessa. Like we assume it's a government, but we don't know if she's building her own. We always thought it was like Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts. But it is going to be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah.
And how that gets wrapped up and how they'll bring her back. With 2 episodes left, they're going to have to cram a lot in. I mean, we still have to deal with she did get the Rolex, didn't she?
So we see her pocket the Rolex, but then it's never brought up again. So I don't know if that's something where, like, since he kind of tells her to leave and they're not partners anymore, if she still has it and they're going to have to meet back up to get the Rolex, or if she lost it during fighting. Like, after she leaves the apartment, we never see it again. So I'm assuming she still has it.
Okay. So, if we're going to throw in the Kingpin in this, and we're going to bring in Lady Mask, seems like a lot to do. And then how much more of a role is Echo going to play?
I have my hunches as to how this is going to end.
You do?
And I feel like there has to be some type of season 2. I don't think there's any way for this to wrap in a way that's going to be satisfying as like a mini series. It's not going to be like a WandaVision where it's a one-off. It's going to be like a Loki where it's like a cliffhanger for season 2, I feel like.
Okay.
Just because there's like an hour or so left, right? They're like 40-minute episodes, so a little over an hour.
I assume the second or the last episode might be a little bit longer, more like 45 minutes to an hour. But you're right. There's not that much time left. So we'll see what they'll end up doing. A lot of us want to see the Kingpin back. A lot of us, of course, Echo gets her own series, so they might spin it out of this. So I'm not really sure how that's all going to work up. The last episode, Jay Blue is saying will be longer, plus post-credit scenes for the last 2 episodes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think there were any in these 2.
But he's saying there will be for the next 2.
Yeah, he's saying there will be for the next 2. I just hope they don't kill Clint off. Let the man retire in peace. Let him enjoy his family, right? I don't think they'll kill him off. I think, obviously, I think Black Widow is dead. No, that's Natasha. That's because of, ScarJo. I think she's done. They apparently did her dirty by throwing the movie in streaming service. I think she had some kind of contract they had to keep, and they did not.
I think my hunch, with there only being 2 episodes left, is it's probably going to end with like Clint announcing to the world that he's Ronin and going off to jail for a while to give Kate time to be Hawkeye for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It might not happen. They might give him a happy ending Christmas with his kids. Who knows? But that's kind of my hunch. Is I'm like, I feel like that might be like the cliffhanger. Like, oh shit, he's going to prison or something.
Still wondering if Clint's wife used to be a spy. I never got that. I think you mean like Mockingbird? Yeah, somebody else just said that. Clint's wife was once rumored to be Mockingbird and changed her name.
She does seem very savvy at finding the information he needs.
Okay.
I don't know.
And she can speak in a different language too.
Yeah.
She was trying to hide things from her kids. Doesn't make you a spy, but So out of 10, for anybody watching and for Ødfel, what would you give episodes 3 and 4? Since we talked about them, we talked about the Easter eggs.
I liked these 2 better than the first 2, significantly. I would probably give these 2 a solid 8. I really, really enjoyed the dynamic a lot better, and I thought the pacing, as like watching them, I watched them back to back, almost like a movie unit, and I thought it was like really good pacing as a movie.
I really enjoyed this one. This episode 3 and 4 together for me. I think if I had to put them, would be at 8.5. I thought both were excellent. High up there. It's one of the best. Some of the best Disney Plus TV episodes I've seen for Marvel. Right, I'm not talking the ending of The Mandalorian, but this was solid. It was good. It was it was something that it was needed on this show. I thought it really bumped up the value, and I don't know. It was just, and it was fun getting to know both of the characters. So yeah, let us know in the comments.
Sorry?
I was just gonna say what everybody else. So you gave it an 8. I gave it 8.5. 8.5. Kingpin teases out of 10. Did like that the mother speaking in Russian was how the kids knew who she was talking to. That was pretty interesting. Episode 4 and 9. Episode 4 was a solid 9. Yeah, absolutely. That was my favorite episode so far. And 8, episode 3 and 8. And this is interesting. The watch is supposed to blow someone's cover, and the 2 of them are really concerned about it. Huh.
That's what I'm still wondering about. I'm like, the fact that the wife is so worried about it, I'm like, is it hers? Is it someone close to them? Is it Clint's with Ronan? But then, like, Kate calls him out about it, so why wouldn't he just say, yeah, it has my information on it? You know? I'm like, what? I want to know more about this watch.
An 8 from Javier Pedraza and Ultimate Power gives it an 8. Hawkeye is Ronan. Wait, so he was an Avenger and killed a ton of criminals. I'm okay with this. Sentenced to house arrest with the rest of his family in retirement. I would be okay with that. He was doing a service, right? Like a vigil. Well, I guess they probably see him like a vigilante, like the Punisher. So they have to set an example. That's probably why they're like, no, you don't get to plot. You don't get to fly. So, let's see what else we got. 8 out of 10. Easily my favorite current show for Marvel. It's got all the story beats I'd hope for and rounds Clint out more than the movie said. Absolutely. We talked about the movie Clint, and it was, like, I think, less than 45 minutes, right? It was a ridiculous amount of screen time that he had in the movies to develop that character. All right, I have a feeling the wife might have been a former Black Widow Mockingbird. It would have been cool, Mockingbird. If he says he's Ronin, his family will be in danger. She already has notes on them. Yeah, she does. That's right, because that's when she found them in the apartment. It's a Christmas show, so it'll have a happy ending. I'll probably, as long as they don't kill Pizza Dog. Can you imagine the amount of hate? Like, people would cancel their Disney Plus if they hurt that dog. probably have an end with him bringing Kate into the family and training her. Probably, yeah. Wonder if his daughter will get jealous that he's training someone else other than her. Because remember they were shooting arrows.
Because everyone is wondering if she was Kate for a while there when they first like showed that clip, but then they say her name is something else, and people are like,
This might be my favorite show right under WandaVision. Yeah, I loved WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was great. Sir John said the killer. He's looking at your apparently your cosplay. The Savage Land.
Oh, thank you.
Cosplay is spicy. Out of 10, you wear April O'Neil's like a regular outfit. Is that true?
I mean, maybe I only wore the costume once, but it was fun. I need to do a proper April.
So, William, let me ask you. You may know this. I stopped watching S.H.I.E.L.D. Is S.H.I.E.L.D. still considered canon in the MCU? I thought they dropped that. And it's weird, right? Because it was so connected at first, like a little bit of the aftermath of Thor, Dark World was in S.H.I.E.L.D. season 1. I mean, even what happened to Coulson gets resolved in, because in the MCU it feels like Coulson is dead. They don't ever talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. Those characters. So I always wondered, is S.H.I.E.L.D. still canon or not, or did they just?
Yeah, because they had that entire episode 2 where they had the Hydra spies come out, and like they warned you to watch the movie first for I think Winter Soldier.
All right, so my man Max is saying S.H.I.E.L.D. is not considered canon in the MCU according to Kevin Feige. Wow. Way to retcon your own show. And it was during the Hydra takeover. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s an alternate universe now. How did we start this? Dude, Sir John, how do you not know that Emma Frost had a black outfit, man? I hate to admit this.
From Marvel Now.
Yeah, that's from Bendis's run. Which Ødfel may like?
This one.
I do have to say, I did like the Bacalo designs on Cyclops and Magic and Emma Frost.
Me too. I love Bacalo's designs for X-Men, and like I could not resist. I was like, if I'm going to do Emma, this is the one I'm tackling first.
Mm-hmm. Saw Ødfel's cosplay. She's already ready to play She-Hulk. That's right, you did She-Hulk, didn't you?
Yeah, I just got to get back to the gym.
I'm the Uncanny Omar. I am the guest. This is the no, this is Ødfel. She's awesome. She's done Met My Ex with me several times, and she's been reviewing stuff with me as far as the comic book movies and TV shows for a little bit now.
Yeah, it's been pretty
she's
fun.
An amazing cosplayer, loves comics, obviously. Look at her back. All right, I gotta say. Okay, first of all, Uncanny X-Men 137 classic. Just have it hanging on the wall. New Mutants #1. That's the. Is that the Inferno Ignite? Oh, Gambit's first appearance. Oh shit, you got Kitty Pryde's first appearance.
I need to lower this one because it's always out of frame, and like that second one is all my good books.
Okay, wait. Oh, that Emma Frost. Mwah. But underneath that, that's Kate. That's Kitty's first appearance, right? 128.
Kitty and Emma's first appearance, yeah.
That's right, her too. The new costumes, that's 39, right? X-Men 39.
Yeah.
And then the wedding. The wedding is 30.
Yes, so I got the wedding, and then I directly underneath it I have the David Nakayama Emma cover.
How dare you? Poor Cyclops.
I know.
Vision and Wanda and Vision. Oh, X-Men 135. Classic. Oh no,
I love that cover. That's like the first Silver Age book I ever bought, actually, was that one.
X Factor, Inferno, Firestar, X Factor 1. What's to the right of Uncanny at the bottom?
Let's see. Is it backwards for you, or are you talking about this one?
No. That's Magic. I got that one. What's on the right? Mm-hmm.
This one is just a Terry Dodson Batgirl cover that I like.
Okay.
I don't even know what issue it is. Let's see. 44. It's just a cover I liked.
And then to the right of that that's Phoenix.
Yeah, this one's a Phoenix cover. My other good Jean covers are up there.
But... Oh my god, that Mark Brooks cover. Yeah.
Right? I had to get the Mark Brooks one.
That's a badass cover. Yes. That's beautiful. Okay.
Sorry, this is a shelf tour now, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this became that was okay. I could play that game. Basically, all the Disney Plus Marvel shows are Avengers disassembled with the coming of the Young Avengers or New Avengers or Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers. I guess we've yet to find out exactly what they're doing. I missed the last stream, but I wanted to comment on how chill the city was about Hawkeye destroying a bridge with a giant arrow. I'm also 99% sure Kate and Clint are responsible for a few deaths. I thought about that when she was like shooting arrows and the cars were just flipping and blowing up. Thought, she might have killed somebody in that car, right? Like she really, I don't know, her facial.
I'm like, but then I feel like in my brain today. You can tell I didn't have coffee. I feel like in Black Widow though, they also had Yelena just straight up murder people. So maybe they're like, these are the street level people. They can just murder people. It's fine.
It is funny how Marvel characters could just get away. I mean, Spider-Man was murdering characters in Endgame. He had a kill mode. Yeah. Never happened in the comics. Phil, ever think of sending off those to get graded? Those books to get graded? Yeah, you ever think about that?
I gotta sneeze. So 1 second. I didn't want to like do that mid-sentence. Sorry. If I ever go to sell them, I might get them graded, but I personally don't like how slabbed books look. I much prefer to display mine like this. It's one of those things like if I ever wanted to not display them anymore and I wanted to like make sure I'm keeping them the quality they are, I'd probably like slab them before I would store them. Mm-hmm. But as far as like visually, I much prefer this. The only slab book I have is a Jean Grey cover that I have up on top of my shelf.
I don't do slabs either. I like to read the comics if I ever. So I mean, I'm not crapping on anybody that does it. I think it's cool. I mean, obviously they've marketed, the whole the CGC is insane how they've marketed this is the definitive rating for your book. But I do like the idea of opening up my books up. So I do have several framed. Like I got Infinity Gauntlet signed by Jim Starlin and George Perez, and I've got that framed, and a couple of John Byrne and Claremont and Stan Lee books signed.
Yeah.
Every man ever. Send me a picture of you, Omar. Send me a picture of your collection. That's how I judge women. Taste. We never had a future. That's right. They include any of that Bendis in their collection. Red flag, baby. We got to bounce. Yeah, I saw it.
Just covering it the whole time. You don't see any Bendis. It's fine.
I love the Hawkeye show. It's really capturing the feel of a Fraction Aha run, except for Clint being a good husband dad, but it's cool. It is different, right? And that's okay. They can take liberties with it because it's his own thing. It's a TV show, so I'm good with that.
I think it adds a little depth to Hawkeye, because as much as I love like the Hawkeye persona of like Hawkeye like being a mess, drinking coffee out of the carafe, I think this kind of makes the most sense for where we are, and I kind of dig it.
Oh, I'm good with this. I like this character. I like him being deaf in one ear, or deaf, like he can't hear without that hearing aid. I thought that was a nice touch, showing an aging Avenger, like a real life aging Avenger. I thought was really good. Most of my slab books I have in Omnis anyways to read. True, that is true. We do have collected editions for that. Good point, my dude. Agreed. I only have one slab book, a Golden Age Ant-Man book. I prefer to read my comics. Yep, not like I said, not crapping on anybody that collects those. I think they're great. I like to let them breathe. Like toys and statues.
Same. I'm not an inbox person, and I know it kills people, but like I like to be able to like repose stuff and like look at it.
That's right. What's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Unrelated to Hawkeye, what X-Men Omni would that Firestar miniseries most likely be collected in? Easy to answer, man. It's gonna be a New Mutants Omnibus Volume 2, right? But
we did talk about that. Okay.
But I really think that should be collected again, and I know it's double dipping, but definitely collected in the Prelude to the Massacre or Uncanny Volume 5, because first of all, I loved the miniseries when I was a kid. I thought it was a cool I thought it was sad and dark what ended up happening to her. So, but yeah, absolutely one of those two. If they decide to do two Omnis between 4 and Massacre, then one of those two for sure, man. That's where it belongs.
I'll be real. I still need to read the Firestar mini. I've only ever found this one. So I need to find 1 through 3 at some point. But like, I had to pick up this one. The cover is gorgeous. And I love Firestar. But it's on my reading list still. Because I haven't been able to find just a thin collected version of it. So I just need to like hunt more dollar bins to find the other 3.
They're not expensive. And honestly, it's been...
Yeah, this was literally dollar bin. I just like the cover. So...
I think I've got the trade paperback. You can have it since I'm gonna get the omnibus.
Oh, no worries. Is it collected in a TP? I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, it's been collected in a couple of them.
I'll have to see. We might have it at my work. I just didn't think they had one.
Yeah, it's called X-Men Firestar.
Oh, that's why. I always look for Firestar under like F. I bet it's in with the X-Men stuff.
Agreed, Omar. The Death Touch gives it reality and humanity to the character. No superhero is invincible. Absolutely. Especially, well, I mean, you got to think like him and Natasha were the two human characters in the movies, right? Like everybody else, Iron Man had like a heart that was made of like, I don't know, shrapnel and other stuff. You had the super soldier serum guy, a thunder god, and you had a guy that turned into the giant Hulk. They were just the normal humans. They were getting their asses whipped like normal humans would. So I think the death thing was a nice touch.
Well, and here's like what you were saying too. The thing I really like is that we're seeing an aging Avenger. The comics, they never really let characters age outside of like a tight boundary. Characters never really actually progress and age and really do much. They stay perennially somewhere between 20 and 40 forever. So watching this Avenger getting older, trying to like just spend time with his family, having health issues is really refreshing to me.
I completely agree with that. I think it's a nice touch. Outside of the Logan movie, right? I can't think of any other movie that has touched up upon that idea that characters age or because actors age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really liked it. I thought it was good. Let's see. We got a couple of comments here. I'm starting to get tired of the MCU, but this show is legit. Plus, Haley. Nice. Dude, I love the way she fights sliding with her bow and just tripping dudes up. I thought that was cool, man.
Even her complaining about her bow makes me really, really hope that we get a cool like new bow for her because she's like, how do you run with this? He's like, I have a collapsible bow, and I'm like, oh, get Haley a cool bow.
When she was, how do you walk around in this thing? All right, yeah. Even Uncanny Omar Ødfel couldn't avoid the heart-shaped glasses. Is it illegal to not have those? I have 2 pictures in them. Oh, he's looking at your pictures again. All right, gotcha. All right, they could have
glasses.
Yeah, I get it. I know. They could have easily made Clint grumpy older guy who pretends not to be happy and hates company. Right. So I'm glad they didn't. Glad they gave him heart. Absolutely. Somebody was asking if we had statues. I've only got a few left. I've got rid of most of mine. And Ødfel's got a whole shelf there. I see Goblin Queen and Cyclops. Was it Cyclops statue?
Yeah, I have this whole shelf is Cyclops and Emma. I don't have much Emma stuff yet. This is all my Jeans. That's all my 10th scales. More Cyclops and Jean. That's my DC. And then this is like random. Most of my Marvel Legends I don't have space for yet, so I have like a couple kind of shoved randomly, but I just have like a box of Marvel Legends I need to find a home for.
Were those pins on the left-hand side?
Oh, yeah. So I have like Disney and other pins there, and then these are all my Marvel pins.
That one's the one I was looking at, the Jean Grey one.
Yeah, so this one is cool. Jean and Cyclops, and this one's a gorgeous Phoenix one. The fire's actually like see-through. I don't know how you'd ever have a pin backlit to enjoy it, but it is really cool.
That's something I would not put on my backpack. I've seen you walk through.
No, I have them here because I'm like, I would not want to lose any of these. Like, holy crap.
All right. Oh, thank you so much, man. I'm doing an updated one sometime this month. My walkthrough of my collection. Starcast PTSD, that was his flaw later on. Absolutely. Especially after finding Thanos, man. He took it hard. Sam Wilson has no powers, just the robot wings. Kind of his gadget that Clint and Natasha have. True. That is true, William. We'll see what happens to him in about 10 years. Maybe he'll be wearing hearing aids. Your Pokemon nurse cosplay looks scary. Please don't heal my Pokemon. Mine?
Listen, I look so bad as anime characters. I did that shoot and I hated it, and I have not really done anime since.
You haven't done anime? You blocked out anime because of Pokemon?
No. I mean, like, cosplaying anime, besides, like, Asuna, who I feel like can look a little more my face shape. Like, I did Nurse Joy, and I looked like Nightmare Fuel, so I just don't cosplay anime anymore.
You don't cosplay an anime because of Nurse Joy?
I look horrifying.
I'll stop it. I think she's great as Kate Bishop. I agree. She is awesome as Kate Bishop. Old Man Hawkeye. It was a nice follow-up, man. And they could do that. Rumors are also out the Haley is in Ant-Man 3, just a rumor so far. So Ant-Man 3 is what? The Quantum Mania, whatever it's called?
Yeah, is that 22 or 23 that's coming out? I want to say 23.
I think it's 22.
Is it?
Yeah, and that's where we're supposed to see
Oh,
Kang
yeah.
again. Hopefully it'll be a better Kang than the Kang we got at the end of Loki. And something else. Because remember in Ant-Man 2, as much as I did not like that movie, they were talking to somebody else too. Like the villains were talking to somebody that we never saw. So
I just want the girl gang of Stature, Haley's Kate Bishop, and then Yelena so bad. So bad.
those aren't young Avengers. Now they're just lady Avengers.
Give me West Coast with them. Like,
Well, then you need Mockingbird. But then again, S.H.I.E.L.D. was not
True.
canon, so you don't have. I'm trying to
that
think.
is
I mean,
true.
we've already got Wiccan, we've got Speed, we've got Kate Bishop, we've got Isaiah's grandson. So those are four of the young Avengers. Iron Man, they could easily do.
Yeah, it could easily be a young Kang, or they could do like some other
Exactly.
thing.
A variant of Kang that knows he's going to become Kang. I would love that. That would be good.
Vision is still around, so you could have Vision leading the team as usual.
Mm-hmm. Who's left in the Young Avengers? I'm missing somebody. Hulkling, right? Hulkling.
I think Hulkling. Let me look up the cover. I want to say Hulkling and maybe one other girl, but I can't remember who the other girl is.
Hulkling, you couldn't really do because we haven't even introduced the idea of Captain Marvel.
Unless it's in the Marvels.
Yeah, but Captain Marvel was so different in that. I don't know. I mean, maybe they could make it work. It be different.
It could be. The comics play heavily with the fact that the Kree are constantly like test tube babying the perfect soldiers. It could be like Marvel's DNA with, anything. It doesn't have to be like the Romeo and Juliet love affair. It wasn't the comic.
You're right. They could. But then we have scrolls. They don't have to keep it like the comic book. I was just thinking. I think that is
America.
Well, see, America wasn't introduced till later, so she wasn't part of the original team. But I would be okay. She's appearing in Doctor Strange anyway, so
yeah. I was like, we'll have Marvel.
Omar hates everything I like. Onslaught, House of M, and now Ant-Man 2. I'm sorry.
Kid Loki too.
I would love Kid Loki, and I was kind of hoping they do that with the variant from the Loki show.
We don't see him die.
That's right, we don't. I gave it an 8.5, brother. He's asking if we liked episode 3. Ødfel gave it an 8. What did you think about it, bro?
I think I'd give, like, if I rated them separately, I think I would give, like, 3, probably, like, an 8-ish, and probably 4, like, a solid 9. Because 4 was just phenomenal. Like, together, they're kind of, like, an 8-ish, but, like, 9 was just great. Or 4 was great.
4 was my favorite, man. I loved it. Maybe I'm hoping for too much, but if they bring the rest of the Defenders cast, John Berthel, oh man, I don't know. I think somebody was like, we were joking last time because the rumor is, it's not even a rumor, it's been confirmed. I don't know why they confirmed
this past week, yeah.
Yeah, Charlie Cox is coming back as Daredevil. We don't know where yet. I assume She-Hulk, and rumor for a long time was Spider-Man, the new movie, and then Kingpin, of course. And I'm honestly okay with those two and forgetting everybody else. I love Punisher. I would take him back. But if I had to choose 2 characters to bring back from the Netflix series, those would be the 2. And Colleen Wig, because she's just hot. And I would definitely leave behind Iron Fist. Forever. Well, let's revamp Iron Fist like in 5 more years.
The premiere is Monday, so everyone go like this until they get to see the movie. But I think things will be very confirmed as of the beginning of next week, with the premiere being Monday.
Woo!
So,
if they bring Kingpin and Daredevil into the MCU, do we think that Netflix shows were isolated enough to become canon? Yeah. I mean, if they never talk about Defenders. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'll come down. I think it'll come down to how much they reference it based on their contracts with Netflix. Because anything future will be with Disney Plus. So I feel like if they do keep it canon, they might still have to be vague about it. I don't know how their contracts are going to work, just because the one was through Netflix, and they probably are going to be a little about it. Because I know that's the reason that there was so much beef to start with, was it wasn't they didn't want them, it was a rights battle.
Now, see, my man here knows what's up. They could bring Colleen Wing back as Iron Fist, yes. And Charlie Cox will show up in Echo. Is that confirmed, or is that also rumor?
That would be great.
It makes sense, right? And it better be Daredevil. It better be, dude. I just want Daredevil season 4. Like Daredevil.
I just want Typhoid Mary, but like done well.
Thank you. Yes, me too. Because I feel like some writers don't understand Typhoid Mary. They just write her crazy.
Yeah,
that's part of it. But there's a complexity to that character too. Man, Charlie Cox in the big screen, and holy crap, if they give me Daredevil 4, like the Bullseye in his costume, oh yes. Rumor is Jessica Jones will show up in She-Hulk. Rumor, yeah, all right, that would be okay. I love Kristen Wiig. I think she's a great actress. I didn't really care for the show that much. Are they showing 30 minutes of Spider-Man?
In what?
When Griffith in a female Avengers movie wouldn't be that off base. We did have that one scene that made a lot of people cringe, even though it was only like 5 seconds, 10 seconds long. I think it made people cringe because it was not natural, right? Like in a big fight.
Let me have my A4 Easter egg.
I have two little girls, and I understand what it means to them. I think for a natural progression of the story, people were cringing like, none of this makes any sense. Why would all the women gather together?
Let me have a crumb of a hope for A4s.
And then we forget it's a comic book movie. Like, okay. Me too.
Yeah, I know people hate that scene, but I was just like, holy shit, A4s.
I will say there have been some amazing memes based on that scene that just crack me up.
Yeah.
For all the wrong reasons. D'Onofrio's performance as Wilson Fisk rivals only Heath Ledger's Joker, in my humble opinion. He was perfect. Oh, he was great, man. He also played Thor in Adventures in Babysitting.
Wait, did he?
Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah, he was the mechanic that comes down and she's like, "Oh my god, Thor."
I want you to realize when I watched that movie, I was at a young enough age that I was really confused that wasn't part of the MCU. Like, I was like a kid enough that I didn't recognize that Thor wasn't the MCU Thor, and I was very confused for a while.
Adorable. Where you been, dude? It's been a long time. I hope you've been doing well, man. I know nothing of the new Spider-Man movie other than what I've seen in the trailers, and I want to keep. Yep, same, brother. I said I'm glad the last trailer didn't reveal no Tobey Maguire, didn't reveal any Andrew Garfield. All these rumors we've heard. I'm glad they kept it tight, and that's all I need. I don't need anything else. I don't need confirmation. The last thing I wanted was more of these characters showing up. I want to be surprised going in. Yeah, I know more than likely these things might happen. But it still doesn't capture the magic of watching it again on the big screen for the first time.
Yeah. No, I think literally Monday, I'm just going to like hide from the internet until I get to see it. Cause I'm like, I don't want anything spoiled. I'm like, the world premieres Monday and then the UK gets it in theaters 2 days earlier than us. So I'm just going to be like this. Cause I really want to just go in as blind as I can.
Yeah, me too. I just hope Hawkeye ends with a blast. So far, the other show's final episodes were lackluster. I'm trying to think. I was okay. Okay. I keep bringing this up, but besides the Ralph Boner thing, I was okay with the way WandaVision ended. I'm glad she got closure. Loki ended in a cliffhanger. I agree with that. Falcon. I wasn't a fan of Falcon Winter Soldier. And I'm not a fan of What If. I did not like What If, and that's not that's not the idea of What If. I think they totally missed the point of What If. And I know it's not supposed to be like the comic, but come on.
Yeah, I'm not the most pleased that they were all connected. Like, it was a cool kind of theory thing, but then when they did it, I was like, yeah, I would have rather this be anthology.
If Toby and Andrew don't show up in Spidey, people are going to start burning theaters down. And then that's going to spoil it for me because I don't get to see it till Thursday. And if I hear about theaters burning down on Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to know why. Thanks, Alex. I'm logging out of everything once that movie's out until I see it. IG Explorer pages love spoiling. They do, man. Like it really aggravates. I don't even go to movie pages. I only follow like a couple of comic book pages, and even or toys, which is like my hobby that I do besides. Well, reading comics is it's my job. It's not a hobby. But even they spoil things, and I hate that crap, man. Omar, I miss you guys so much. Been dealing with a lot of mentality recently. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Plus exams were this week, but I'm done for Christmas and feeling great now. I'll show up more than you. Dude,
You made it. Finals are hard.
Congratulations. I'm glad you made it this far. Glad those damn exams are over. I hope Charlie Cox is in Spider-Man No Way Home. That would be sweet and a great way to introduce him to the MCU. Dude, what if Miles Morales shows up in Spider-Man? That's what I want to see. I want a live-action Miles. I don't understand the hype behind Spider-Man. I mean, people don't even care for that story and character growth. There was no character growth for that story. Like, that it is. Here's why people are hyped for it, man. How do I put this? In comic books, when there are crossovers, when there are events, they sell for a reason. Because as fans, we love to see our characters interact with other big characters. Whenever there's a crossover, a summer crossover, whether it's Infinity Gauntlet or whether it's War of the Realms, we want to see our Spider-Man or our Wolverine, whatever, taken out of their safety zone and thrown into this mess. So this is like not only that, but also rumors of 2 decades worth of movies of Spider-Man played by different actors coming together, especially Andrew Garfield, who never got a third movie, who really got the short end of the stick that time. But, you know, coming together to do one Spider-Man movie, that's amazing. It would be like, first of all, it's unprecedented. I don't think there's ever been a movie like that. You never see James Bond, you never saw Roger Moore and Sean Connery together. You never seen the same actors together in the same movie, right? In TV shows, you saw Christopher Reeve play a character in Smallville, but he wasn't Clark Kent. So for the first time, this is like a live-action Spider-Verse. Look how well Spider-Verse did. It's just gonna be crazy and amazing, man. That's why, that's my honest opinion.
And a lot of us too, I feel like it's our childhoods, whether you're like my age or older and Toby was your childhood Spider-Man, or even like your teen to adult age Spider-Man, to like when I was in high school is when the Andrew Garfield, well, maybe middle school and high school is when the Andrew Garfield came out. And then as an adult, Tom Holland came out. So for me, like, this is going back to like my childhood, to like being in school. Like, these are things like I grew up with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So the fact that we're even getting like Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe as what's his nuts? Like it's I can't think of the name, Green Goblin. Yeah. It's cool because like these are things I haven't seen since my childhood. It would be like, I mean, that whole era was like that in Fantastic Four for me as a kid. So it's like my nostalgia. I think a lot of people just have nostalgia for it too.
Yeah, nostalgia drives a lot of these things. A lot of the comic book collections, a lot of the comics that come out, and movies. I think it's wonderful. This is to take a step back and go back, 25 years ago. No way in hell would you ever think that there was anything. There was ever going to be an Endgame. They were going to be the #1 movies, and now you're going to tell me that all these different actors that have portrayed the same character are now, built into the story, saying that they were coming from a different, like they're all part of a different universe. That's amazing. That's crazy. That's holy shit. It's like I grew up and started making movies. That's how it feels. Like I grew up and started making movies for a living. So that's why people are excited.
Like, I was happy enough when we got Linda Carter at the end of Wonder Woman, even though that movie was a slog. But she wasn't even playing Wonder Woman. Like, if she's playing Wonder Woman, like, that would be the same level of just like.
Probably one of the greatest cameos in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Or one of the greatest. One of the greatest after credits in the DC universe. What If had some decent episodes. I like Doctor Strange. I thought that was really good, and I had fun with. What was the one I had fun with that nobody else seemed to like? Oh, the Black Panther one with Killmonger. I thought that was okay. Killmonger becoming the working with Iron Man. I agree on What If. After I watched that awful Thor, God, that Thor episode might have been my least favorite.
Same.
Then I did not go back and watch part 2 of Ultron episodes. The episode was awful and made me not want to see anymore. I'd like to see Miles in a Spider-Man movie after Peter at least gets through college. But back to what to his point, I can't remember who it was that made that comment. It was a good comment though about why it has so much. Oh, you didn't understand why it had pipe. This Spider-Man does feel like the least character developed Spider-Man out of all the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield movies. Like it, because he's such a small part of his movie, and the bigger part is the big MCU. Like the first one was it was like an Iron Lad movie, and even the second one had aspects of the MCU. But I know this isn't a popular opinion, but my personal favorite Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield. I liked Andrew Garfield too. I thought he had the body shape for Spider-Man. What's up, Jeff? How are you, sir?
Emma Stone was a phenomenal Gwen. Like, I honestly love the Andrew Garfield movies. They hit at the age where I gave the most craps about Spider-Man, and I love them.
Okay. What are you gonna do when Emma Stone is under that Spider-Gwen mask? You gonna flip out?
Listen, I love Emma Stone, and I would love to see it. Like, she was probably my favorite part of the Andrew Garfield films, just because like we had MJ in the first three, and I was really refreshed that they gave us Gwen Stacy. So I'd love to see them do something with her.
I hate the Venom movies. I'll stop you there. I as well. But there's a huge fan following. People love it, man. And I don't like Sony trying to bully the character into the MCU. Venom is not a hero. He's a spawn from Spider-Man and an anti-hero. I wish Donny Cates wrote the script. The way I describe Venom is... okay. Venom is like a Hollywood producer saw this comic book character and said, hey, we need to make a movie about this guy. He's got good visuals. He's got a long tongue. It'd make a really cool, creepy movie. And that's kind of how they wrote it. Some of these movies that Kevin Feige's behind is like he grew up with reading comics, or some of these people grew up reading comics, and then they're writing stories about the comics the way they remembered them. Whether they were probably more epic than the way they remember them, but that's the way these movies feel a little more grown up. Some of them, not all of them. But the Venom movies, it feels totally like forced by just movie producers. Hey, we have the rights to this. We're sitting on it. Let's go ahead and make some cash. Still can't believe we get the movie here 2 days before. I know you all get UK, man. I'm going to fly out there to watch it with you. Linda Carter was the only good thing about Wonder Woman. Fact, that movie sucked. Gal Gadot was always easy.
That's true. I forgot Days of Future Past did do it. Kind of.
100%. Yeah, because I remember, you're right, Javier. I was excited to see Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy in the same movie. You're right. Because Ian McKellen and Fassbender did like Magneto. So you're right. How do I put that, though? That was... X-Men started in 2000. Days of Future Past, I took my oldest daughter to see that. She got a little scared when the Sentinels showed up. I'm trying to think, was what, 2011, 2012? It was definitely when she was young. Days of Future Past.
2014.
Okay, so you had about 14 years in between X-Men 1 and Days of Future Past. That was amazing, by the way. So
that was really cool. And they didn't have a lot of screen time together, but I forgot that they did do that and have them both in the same movie.
Chris Davidson, you didn't like Thor and Carol punching each other into different continents? It was pure fun. I'm glad you enjoyed it, brother. Thank you guys. You've renewed my faith in the MCU and Spider-Man. I hope you enjoy it, brother. Party Thor was awesome and fun. People seem to take What If episodes too serious. Maybe that was my problem. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood to watch anything like that. If it wasn't for Days of Future Past movie, we may not have a Spider-Verse or No Way Home. 100%. How did I forget about that? I love that movie. 7 days to go here. Can't wait for the new Spidey. Toby showing up in No Way Home has been assumed and hyped for so long that if he doesn't say, every Bully Maguire meme people will still be disappointed. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Andrew was great Spidey, but not a great Peter. He was too cool to be Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was too cool. Like, he skated.
Running through the hallways, like...
Absolutely loved Emma Stone. Iron Man was only in Homecoming for about 7 minutes. You should try watching it again if you haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, honestly, Homecoming in probably a couple of years. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. Oh my God, Michael Keaton stole that movie. He was amazing in that movie. That car ride scene where he reveals who he is. No, oh, dude, so good. And yes, this is how I feel about Andrew Garfield. Andrew's Spider-Man looks more accurate to me. The costume, and just the slim look to him. Call me crazy, but I've liked all the Marvel shows and movies since Iron Man, including the Netflix shows. William, that's not crazy, man. That's amazing, and I'm jealous of that. I'm jealous of that. I wish I have enjoyed everything too. Emma was great as Gwen. Great call. Emma's Gwen, so by far the best Spider-Man love interest in the big screen. Yeah, I get that. The Venom movies feel like 90s movies. No, even the music, purposely, I think it was written for like the 90s. The biggest tragedy of all Spider-Man movies is that we haven't got a great Mary Jane Watson. She was written out of the third movie. The rumor was because the actress wasn't hot enough, I think. I'm serious. That was one of the things that people said about why she was removed from the third Spider-Man movie. Or, I'm sorry, the second Spider-Man movie, the Andrew Garfield one. Why they were removed. Yeah, you should look it up. Because there were shots, and she is in one shot in the movie where I think the Rhino throws the car, like you just see the backside of her. But everything else they cut her out of. Agreed, Omar, and some of the producers never read comics. 100%. Man, it's all about the money. Wouldn't it be awesome if in the end of Into the Spider-Verse trilogy, they merge universes and the guy who voices Miles becomes a live-action version? He does have the looks. I love that actor. I think he's phenomenal. I hate the Venom movies. Too goofy. Should be R-rated horror like Jekyll and Hyde. Linda Carter is still gorgeous. 100%, my dude. She still is.
Yes. It
was like Ghost Rider. They made it goofy. Ghost Rider needs to be R and horror. Maybe when they remake it, man.
You don't like eating jelly beans out of a martini glass? Come on.
The movie was bad. I agree on the comment above about there not being a good Mary Jane in the films. Because the Zendaya is not Mary Jane, right? Like it's MJ. She's a different character.
She is MJ, but she's a huge departure from the character's personality. And then Kirsten Dunst, they didn't let her do much. She was just woman. Like, she doesn't really have a character arc. She's just like love number one.
She got pushed around a lot, thrown wet nipples. I remember that kissing scene. I mean, that's a popular scene. And complained a lot. And then went back between Peter and Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Omar and Ødfel. I just started reading Civil War II event. What are your thoughts on it? I'll let ladies go first.
I think it's a strong character assassination against Carol. I think whoever was writing it didn't like Carol Danvers. It came after an era where Carol had very strong books, and the Captain Marvel books that came after it spent a long time digging out of the hole Civil War II did. I hate it. I think there's no real reason for them to have done that with Carol's character other than the writer having a bias against her.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that answer.
I love reading Captain Marvel books, but that whole event is just.
And here's the thing: I don't even like Civil War I. I don't like Civil War I. It didn't make any sense to me. Civil War II, I don't know which one I don't like more. Like Civil War II had a lot of it's not just Carol; it's a lot of characters that are out of character. And what? I'm not going to spoil it, man. You enjoy it if you read it. I'm just giving my honest opinion. I wasn't a fan of Civil War II.
I have a lot of strong feelings because I've been catching up on a lot of Captain Marvel's arcs, and it felt like it was kind of like as far as the writing quality. There's moments of Civil War II that are nice, but if you're reading it for Carol Danvers, it is not one of those.
Just want to see an improved Daredevil costume because I may love the show. It just seems the costume is a bit off for me. True enough. I just watched Homecoming, and you were right. Keaton stole the movie in that car scene for sure. 100%, man. He's the man. Apparently, the press event would show 30 to 40 minutes of Spider-Man. The premiere would be full movie. Best Rhino casting ever. That was Paul Giamatti, right? If Venom
Give me a man in a badly taxidermied Rhino suit.
I would be good with that. And here's the thing. If we actually get the Sinister Six from the different multiverses, and I hope they're just using Doc Ock as a red herring, like he's not actually one of the Sinister Six, and we actually get six, oh my God. That would be so awesome. Just all these actors. Michael Keaton as the Vulture again. Oh, dude. Zendaya's Michelle Jones, so MJ. Got you. Thank you, sir. I like Kirsten as Mary Jane. She was okay. It was just it was the writing, just really didn't give her anything to do. I really want to be at the pitch meeting for Venom 2. We want to make it more like a buddy comedy, as little blood as possible. Who could be the bad guy? Carnage, naturally. Oh, dude, it was worse than that. Like that was not a good movie. Zendaya as Michelle Jones. I like her, but she doesn't count as Mary Jane. I like her too, but you're right. It's not Mary Jane, right? Mary Jane was the typical damsel in distress back in those days.
Yeah, which is fun. I just like what they've done with MJ recently, and I would like to see much more of a kind of independent dynamic between an MJ and a Peter Parker, like what we're seeing in the comics now, because I think it's a really fun dynamic, and they're really cute. So if they ever do Mary Jane again, that's what I would want.
I hope for Loki season 2 they do War of the Realms storyline. Wonder if they'll bring in like Chris Hemsworth to do a cameo or something. CW was 2. Best part was start getting everyone together to explain what he was going to do so they don't fight this time.
He learned.
Oh my gosh. Tape a horn onto Brock Lesnar. Boom. Rhino. On the subject of Wonder Woman, WB just announced they're making a Wonder Woman game during the Game Awards. Oh, my buddy Rob works for Gun Studios. He's announcing something today. They're the ones that did Friday the 13th, and they're announcing another franchise he told me about a couple of weeks ago. So I'm excited for it if y'all play games. I'm hoping a big surprise for the Sinister Six showing only 5 villains, right? Plus, Fox Ock is not 100% a bad guy. 100%, yeah. Man. I think so, too. Oh, man, but what if it's Venom? What if Venom shows up and he's the part of the Sinister Six? I guess I'd be okay with that. Best Venom movies upgrade, played by Tom Hardy's doppelganger, Logan Marshall Green. Yeah, I think about that movie, too. And wasn't the rumor that Venom started in that, what was it, Life movie with Ryan Reynolds? Was that what it was called? Life? It was the space station, and that little symbiote takes over their bodies. Speaking of Daredevil and Yelena, does anyone think they should do a romance between those two? I know Matt and Widow had a thing in the comics, from what I read. But Matt had a romance with everybody, dude.
Yeah.
He got around.
I will be real. My favorite Matt Murdock pairing is him and Mary, as in like Typhoid Mary. I think it's an interesting dynamic because Typhoid realizes that she's in a relationship with both, but Mary and Matt Murdock don't realize. And it's kind of interesting how there's this dynamic between them in and out of their personas.
Yeah.
I would love to see played out personally. But it would also have to be a good writer because Typhoid's been done very poorly in the past also. But that's the one I would want to see.
I completely agree with that. Hopefully, Angelica Michelle Jones. Do you think that that this Spider-Man movie is going to be the best superhero movie this year? It's hard to answer that because it really could be crap. Like the trailers may... And hype and nostalgia go a long way, but it still could be... I'm trying to think of a movie I was hyped for, and then it turned to, oh, wow, this is not good at all. I can think of movies I was not hyped for at all, and it blew me away, like James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy. I was not excited to see that movie at all. And when I went to see it, I was like, oh, this is good. I really like this. But I'm trying to think of a movie I was hyped for, and then it was just garbage.
For me, I would say it's the Hobbit trilogy. I was really excited for those.
You. That's the one. That's the one. Yep, that's the answer.
Yeah.
Say no more. That's it. So it go the way of the Hobbit. It could still go the way of the Hobbit, so I'm not gonna jinx it by saying it's gonna be the best movie. So far, I've enjoyed Ghostbusters. It's one of my favorite movies this year.
And oh my god, it's so good.
Venom 2. Psych. No one says that. I don't think. Not me. Definitely not me. Life, that was the name of the movie. Please don't let it be a Mephisto illusion. If so, I hope they at least one Taylor Swift reference before bringing him down. Matt makes moves on everybody. Can't trust him around your wife, your girlfriend. And he can play the blind card too. He's going to be like, man, I didn't know. I didn't see the ring, dude. I'm sorry.
I had no idea.
That's another one. Wolverine Origins. That's a good one. Oh, X-Men 3. How hype was I for X-Men Last Stand? And I didn't care that it was Brett Ratner. I'm like, well, okay, I like the Rush Hour movies. Maybe he can do something with this. Peter Jackson did something amazing with The Lord of the Rings, and he's the guy that directed Meet the Feebles. I was wrong. Oh my god, that movie sucked. Star Wars endings, sequels, WandaVision ending, man, I hope overhyping this movie trace, right?
God, for me, The Last Jedi, I really liked, what was it? It wasn't A New Hope. It was the first of the new trilogy. Force Awakens. I actually enjoyed it. I know people didn't, but I was really excited for Last Jedi, and I walked out kind of like...
I walked out confused.
Same.
I walked out like, because I went to see it opening night. Everybody was cheering. Oh my God, I was bored. Like the first part was so boring. There were aspects that I enjoyed. Like the throne scene, I think is still the best fight in a Star Wars movie by far. I don't think anything comes close. Maybe a little bit of the Darth Maul, but that throne scene was wonderful. But the casino stuff and just all the red herrings that they purposely threw in there. I think that one, that's the one to dig. I remember being confused. I remember walking out going, I don't know if I enjoyed that movie or if I hated it. I have to sit on that.
There was so much good, but so much just like, why?
New Mutants. Not only that, but man, you had to wait like 3 years to watch New Mutants. So it was already building up, right?
I waited 3 years and I still loved it personally. Like, I got what I wanted. It was a Fox movie. I didn't think I was going to come out with like an Infinity War of a movie, but
I think it definitely felt like a pilot to a TV show, and I was okay with that. X-Men Last Stand was a hot dumpster fight. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. That might have been like my favorite part. The rest of the movie is just garbage. Phil, do you like DC? If so, what's your favorite character or story arc?
I do like DC. I read it sparingly because a lot of the characters I like don't get their own books, so I have to find when they're in other characters' arcs. That being said, I do really, really like the Gail Simone Batgirl arcs, and I really like Gail Simone's Birds of Prey arcs as well. Those are among my favorites. In addition to that, what they're doing with Poison Ivy right now in Fear State is really interesting as well.
I have not been keeping up with Fear State. So
I'm on and off, but it's over so many books, and I'm trying just to tell Ivy's story that it's kind of been difficult.
All right. So, and Last Jedi is one of those that people are divided on. Like, my brothers both love it. My brothers walked out of that movie and they were like, this is the type of Star Wars movie I want to see. And then I have friends that are huge Star Wars fans that are like, this is a good Star Wars movie. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. But Alex is saying, I really like Last Jedi, but hated Rise of Skywalker. My issue with Rise of Skywalker, without going into spoilers, because I know there's some people that haven't seen it, feels like they did the one thing I didn't want them to do. Because after watching Last Jedi, I said, okay, even though I didn't agree, even though I did not enjoy what happened to some of these characters, it happened. It's canon. Let's move on. In the first 15 minutes of Rise of Skywalker felt like, no, let's backtrack and retcon some of this stuff and say, no, that's not really what this is. That's what I didn't appreciate. That's what I didn't want to happen, but they did it. Instead of rolling with the punches, they backtracked a little bit. Of course, they couldn't backtrack on everything, but they went back on some things, and it was just, I don't know.
I love my boy Hux, and I'm still upset.
Well, I mean, even the build-up for what's his name, the Finn, right? Like,
yeah,
what?
We were cheated on Finn being a Jedi. We were promised this, and it was taken.
I'm force sensitive was all I got out of that. I walked out and changed my last name to Skywalker for absolutely no reason. That's good. I took 10 friends to see X-Men Origins Wolverine, telling them he is the best character in comics, and man, Lohit, I bet they hated your ass. The moment Ryan Reynolds slashed a bullet in half, they all started laughing so hard. It was terrible. It was a bad movie, man. I was super hyped for X3 back in the day. Damn, what a piece of shit that turned out to be. Man, that casino scene still gives me nightmares. However, I appreciate what the Rise of Skywalker did. Last Jedi killed the franchise, and the story was such a mess. I did like Laura Dendo. She was amazing in Last Jedi. Her character was great in Last Jedi. And I like that scene with like the light speed. Like, I thought that was awesome. Last Jedi was sick. Rise of Skywalker felt like they tried to undo everything. Exactly. That was my issue with it. They did and felt too fan servicey in the wrong direction. Hated the kiss. Like, I'll be honest, I've only seen it once. So you saying the kiss, I don't even remember what was the. Oh, okay. You know what? Last Jedi. Here, I would have been so cool with Last Jedi if they had actually ended it with what's his name? Kylo Ren and who's the main character? Ren? Is that her name? Ren? Ren?
Ray?
Is it Ren? Ray. Thank you. Both of them like taking off and being evil, like her joining the dark side.
Yeah,
that would have been cool. And then the final movie would have been about, you know, her friends trying to find her and rescue her. Ray.
That's what I wanted. I was like really hoping she'd go with him because it would be interesting to see a pro tag just like, okay.
Ray. Magic peaked in Empire, and that magic appeared again in Rogue One. People seem to really love Rogue One too. As far as the new Star Wars trilogy, I almost liked Episode 8, but a lot of people do, man. Yeah, I think, and it's definitely divided. Like some people hate it, and some people really like it.
Yeah.
Maybe the new trilogy has to grow on me. I like social studies. Once I reached my 40s, history became cool. Maybe, brother. I wanted to see a switch. Rey becoming a Palpatine and Kylo being the good guy, saving the day. That would have been awesome. They definitely could have gone a lot of different ways, but they played it safe, and maybe that was another issue I had. At this time, I just want to remind everybody to smash that like button, and I want to thank my wonderful co-host, Ødfel, for joining me. We will do this again, probably might be easier for me in December, the day that it comes out, like December 22nd.
Yeah, I should be free. I don't think I will have traveled for Christmas by then, so I should be free. Should be able to do that.
Okay, yeah. So we might do this on the 22nd live. We'll keep everybody updated through social media. Thank you all so much for joining us. Ødfel, when you're not hanging out with me mapping X-Men Omnis and reviewing some of this TV and movies, where can people find you?
Yes, so I have the same username pretty much on everything. It is Ødfel. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Vero, Twitter, TikTok, and my newly opened Patreon and YouTube, all under this username. The only snag is on Twitter. It's a 0 instead of an O, but everywhere else it should just be normal O, DFEL. So make sure to go check it out. I have toy and statue unboxings on my YouTube and cosplay on pretty much everything else.
All right. And you can find me here every day. I'll be here tomorrow talking about a Superman reading order. Wait, I misspoke. It's where to start reading Superman. Superman reading order will kick off sometime next year. I think I'm going to put it up against Spider-Man. So everyone have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your time off work if you're getting some of that. And stay healthy and safe out there. Much love, everybody.